Hello everyone, my name is Kyra. Today I'm going to be doing a fish, not just any fish, the creepiest fish of them all, besides that flat blubbery one that we won't talk about. Second creepiest fish of them all, the anglerfish. This is actually inspired by a painting that my dad did a long time ago, which was actually also inspired by a painting by Drew Brophy. These are the two paintings and pictures that I worked with to create my own twist on the anglerfish. I'm really excited I finally get to show you guys. I've been working on it for a long time. It was actually a present for my dad's birthday because of the painting that he did. I went to Hobby Lobby and I found this glass case that looks kind of like a, I don't know, an aquarium. I liked that it was rounded so it kind of bowed things out when you looked through it. So I have the case, I have acrylic rods, which I use to hold up the fish, and air dry clay. We're ready to go. So I start with tin foil. I usually put tin foil under the things I make out of clay just so that it's not so heavy, it doesn't take so long to dry. And yes, this is air dry clay, not cream cheese. I get that a lot. It is not cream cheese, I promise. And then I just pack a thin layer around the tin foil and start to make a shape of, you know, a grumpy ass fish. It always takes a while. I'm the type of person that doesn't like get it on the first shot. I always have to build things up because I'm very visual. I have to like stand back, look at it, make sure it's the right shape or it has the right attitude. So it does take me quite a few layers to get the exact shape I want to work with. And this guy was mean and lumpy, so I did a lot of texture work, kind of give him lots of wrinkles, lots of ridges, and definitely some angry eyebrows. I like the way that fish looks in my dad's painting, but I liked how happy, or I guess mischievous, the one in Drew Brophy's looked, so I kind of combined the two. For the tail and the fins, I did add some armature wire. This is just flexible wire. And I kind of shaped it a little bit, added it to the clay, cut it to size. This just gives it a little more structure so that when I put the clay over them, it's not just a thin piece of air dry clay that can easily break. It has a little more structure to hold it in place and kind of gives me like a sketch of where I want the fins to be. And yeah, I use plastic and hot glue here to give it another layer of defense against breaking. And that, you know, is kind of unconventional. I haven't really seen too many people do that, but it worked for me and it's tough for having a structure underneath the clay. So who cares? If it works, it works. Nobody needs to know what's underneath the clay in the first place. It's a secret. You can put whatever you want in there. And then I'm pretty like basic person when it comes to sculpting. I have like 2 or 3 tools that I really like. So you'll see me sculpting this with mostly my fingers and this little teal tool that I have that has a knife on one end and like a, I don't know what to call it, a scoop on the other end. Works great for just about almost everything that you want to do. Shaping and shaping and shaping. And all the while I do have to make sure that this fish can fit inside that glass container that I got for it. So I have to be careful where the tail goes, and I wanted to make it as big as I possibly could. So he was just like monstrous in the container, scaring the crap out of that little fish. Is it a fish or is it a snack? I don't know. Probably a snack in this case. Then I actually used the end of a clay shaper tool to give him like, I wouldn't say gills, they're not gills, they're like texture ridges on his back. For the teeth, I got little tiny wire, just again to give more structure to the teeth that are kind of little thin spikes, and I stuck them in his bottom lip and then I shaped some teeth over them just so, like I said, they had a little more structure than they would if they were just a piece of clay. For the lantern, I used little tiny strips of clay and just made like little donuts around his lantern stem, and then I put a ball at the end because he's gonna have an extra lovely eyeball instead of a lamp. Another one of my favorite tools, this is like it's like a needle tool, but at the end of each side, it has little tiny balls of metal, so you can kind of make little dots, but it works really well for making ridges as well. Sculpting the eyes, gotta make it as menacing and creepy as possible. It's a good day for the lanternfish. All right, here goes the construction of wee little snack. And this guy, eyeballs just straight on the top of his head. It's over for you, buddy. This guy I modeled after the fish in my dad's painting because I just loved how it was like arms down, shocked. You can see the emotion on the fish really well. He was a lot easier than this one, obviously. He was just a little thing, and I did put him on an acrylic rod as well. This is a smaller acrylic rod, and I did have to cut them to shape, and I used the Dremel tool to do that, but I don't think I show that in this video. For the base, also unconventional, you can do other things or attach a base to this base. I just sanded the top of the wood so that it was porous and so that the clay would stick to it. I don't really recommend doing that too much. If you can attach it to something else, maybe plastic or sealed, and then attach that to the base or set it inside, I would do that instead. But this did work. It just let it stay wet for so long that the wood warped a little bit, so I wouldn't recommend doing that because then you're kind of stuck with it. And of course, we got these black rocks in the painting. Gotta have a bunch of black rocks and seaweed. The seaweed I didn't show making, but I did use that thin wire, and I also used cosplay foam, which is kind of like clay, but stringier. And I used that to make the seaweed so that it also wasn't breakable. And cosplay foam, when it dries, is like foam. It's not gonna break if you tap it. It's just gonna bend and flex. Of course, the starfish is also a really cool part of this. It's hard to see here, me sculpting it, and I'm sorry about that. Everything is white and it's kind of washed out, but it is there and you'll see it when it gets painted. More rocks. These are the tiny little clams in the picture. They are just little kind of derpy clams at the bottom and just have like eyes open, shocked, like, oh no, someone's about to get eaten. But I had to incorporate them. And I believe, I can't remember, but I think they're just in my dad's painting. And of course I wanted to make this like a replica of his painting with a little bit of my touch on it. So I wanted to add those little shocked clams down there at the bottom, just so it's like a dynamic piece. So wherever you're looking at it, there's some kind of creature or something to look at, or something that's looking at you. This is really fine sand. The clay is all still wet, so I'm just pressing it down into the clay because I didn't want to paint it just sand colored. I kind of wanted it to have that texture, and this worked really well. It didn't stick everywhere though, so I do mix a color of paint close to that sand color and paint the patches that I couldn't get sand to stick to, or that it was like an awkward angle or something, so you'll see me paint the white spots for that later. So satisfying to watch in fast motion, but that took forever. I probably should have done that before I attached all the other stuff, but you live and you learn, and I seem to take the long road every time. Worth it. All right, this is neon green paint. I do not keep the fish this color, but I'm not afraid to show my mistakes. I did not like the way that this color looked on the fish. I thought it was gonna be like perfect when I put it on, but after it dried with the yellow details here, I put them on and I don't know, just like, it grossed my eyes out, and it wasn't quite the right color I was going for. So you're gonna see me paint this fish 3 times. So I mix the green with a yellow, and it gets a lot closer to the color I was going for, and it's less like toxic, like green color. Actually, it's still kind of a gross green color, but it's closer to what I wanted. I let that dry for a while and move on to the rocks. The rocks are black. They have a little bit of a cartoony color to them. They don't have like realistic shading. They're kind of got white slashed across them, so that's the way I made them. I like that markered, cartoony look. Ooh. Putting the eyes in. The eyes are the best part. Almost the best part, I think. Make it a little fish orange. And give him 2 different colors of orange, kind of a yellow, just so he has a little bit of dimension and isn't just, you know, flat orange. Here's a little bit of yellow on his little mohawk. And the starfish, who is also just laying there in terror as he watches this scene unfold. Here goes the 3rd layer of green. I think this is the last layer. This is the layer I was like, okay, that shade is good, because that green was strong and it like shined through the 2nd layer of green I put on. After it dried, it just came right back through, so I had to do it again. And the seaweed, I mixed a color very similar to the fish, just kind of like a seaweed, I don't know, like a dry pea green. I'm not sure what I call that color, but seaweed color. And then I add highlights. I did just use the yellow straight out of the jar for the highlights, and it seemed to blend well with the green that I used. Of course, shadows, dark details, making them look grungy, and gotta have highlights, lowlights, makes everything dimensional and creepy. It's creepy. I still really like this fish. And then the starfish gets his little eye. He's got a frown too. He's very sad. Little clams, they're just like little purple guys with little pink insides and giant scared eyes. Look at the little eyeballs, they're like, oh no! This is the part that just makes it come to life, given that blue, scary eyes. And I tried to do as close to the eyes in my dad's painting. You'll see it on the background on my iPad there, so I was using it for reference. I tried to do that like blue to black fade, and I did the same with the eyeball here. It's hard to see, but it's the same color and shading as the angler's eyes. There, you can kind of see it. Creepy, creepy eyeball. There's a little frown for that starfish. Oh no, and the little eyeballs for these guys. I don't know why I think, oh no, when I see those little guys. This is cool. This is the paint that I used for the first layer of the fish, because the original thing I was thinking is I wanted him to glow under black light, and since I didn't like the color, I covered him up like I said, and I used this to give him highlights, and it blends in so well you can't see them at all when the fish is not under black light, but when it's under black light you can see the details. And I was just gonna do a few, and then it was like, holy crap, this is the coolest thing ever, and so I just decked the fish out in lots of lines, kind of like almost tribal line detail on the fish. And I had to paint it while holding a black light so I could see what I was doing. It was really cool. I'm a fan of black light stuff. My whole family is. We all have our own little black lights that we keep with us at all times in case we want to see if something glows. Seaweed, gotta have black light. Make this whole scene something you can look at in a totally different way when it is under a different kind of light. I did spray a clear spray on it, and it was glossy because I kind of wanted it to look wet like they're underwater. And here is the finished result. The poor little goldfish is just in a bad scenario, but the anglerfish is having a good time. Starfish is not happy, the clams are not happy, but the anglerfish is definitely happy. Oh, this is the part where I figure out, hey, my hair glows under black light. And that was the story of the anglerfish. Inspired by Robert Waits, Andrew Brophy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know what you want to see next. Subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.